And welcome, Hoosier Nation, to our 8th episode of a new show called the Hoosier Sound. I'm your host, Noah Freeman, and I'm delighted to present you with this brand new podcast. I am here with Matt Lukens, and we're here to give you the scoop of some IU sports. We are an IU-centered podcast that focuses on IU sports such as basketball, football, and more from the point of view as a student or young adult. To end each show, we will also give our view on hot takes from around the world of sports. We'll be going live every Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m., but if you miss us live, you can subscribe to various networks so you can listen on your own time. We are now on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and our live stream will be posted on our YouTube page after each recording. All you got to do is search for the Hoosier Sound wherever you listen to podcasts and just hit subscribe. Those of you on the live stream, just click that little box in the right-hand corner. The videos will then pop up for you when they are finished. It's really simple, really easy, and it would mean a lot to us if you guys just hit that subscribe button for us. Next week, we apologize, but our live stream will be pushed back to 10 p.m. So if you watch the live stream on YouTube, make sure to tune in at clock p.m. instead of normal time. But social media also big for us, and we post updates for you guys in Facebook and Twitter. Make sure to give us a like and a follow, as well as subscribe in our YouTube account, and all the information is in the description below.
Well, next week is up in the air because Tuesday's Anna's birthday, my girlfriend. So we'll get back to you on that.
We'll be going next Tuesday. Lastly, you can also check out our website, thehoosiersound.wordpress.com, to find all of our information in one place. All right, it's time for some sports talk. This past weekend, the Hoosiers lost again to a team I think everyone thinks that they should have beaten in Maryland at College Park. They lost 42-39. Matt, start us out.
Why do I always start the football sections?
We'll change it up next time.
Each week it gets harder and harder because it's like I have the excuse of, oh, they're just a better team. Oh, they recruit better than us. Oh, they have a more storied tradition and we just happen to be playing them away. I have no excuses for this week. In my notes, I have written out some words I cannot say on air. I also say that I'm still sad, and we've had an IU basketball game, which always cheers me up, and possibly the greatest World Series game that was a non-decider of all time. And I'm still hurt. I am still physically and emotionally hurt. I have wrappers of Three Musketeers on my desk that I'm pretty sure I ate watching this game, and there's about 10 of them right here. So thank you, IU football.
I know.
But anyways, what went wrong?
A lot.
First off, Mike DeBoard, I love you and hate you at the exact same time because your offensive scheme doesn't run the ball up the middle on third down and long. The problem is you throw the ball 3 yards on third down and long, which is the exact same thing, just in different form. So when we get into third, okay, here's an IU football drive for you. First down, let's throw the ball 3 yards. Great.
Some sort of screenplay usually.
Right. Second down, let's run the ball. We can't run, so we lose a yard, and it's 3rd and 8.
Especially this weekend where we had both of our top 2 running backs were injured and not even at Maryland. They stayed at IU.
I don't know if there's a statistic we can find, but how many times Mike runs on second down drives me nuts. If we can't run the ball, throw it to then open up the run.
We should tally that up actually this week.
It's the complete opposite of what you should do. You're like, oh, let's establish the running game. We can't establish a running game if we don't have one.
But usually to establish the running game, you run on first down, not later in the
exactly.
Yeah.
But then it goes, oh no, we're 3rd and 8. We're 3rd and long. We'll just put it that way. Not even 3rd and 8, but 3rd and 8's really specific. I think we had like 3 situations last game. We were in 3rd and 8. Oh, we're on third down. Let's pass it. We complete it 9 yards. So then we do the whole process over and over and over again until eventually either it's an incompletion, our quarterback takes a cheap shot to the knee, or we throw an interception to a person that wasn't even there. That is exactly what happens on our offense. Or we score and we look like geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
That's offense. Defense. I thought we were good.
We were top 30 in the nation. Yeah.
I thought we were good. And I know Maryland has probably the second best wide receiver in the Big Ten behind Simi Cobbs. We don't throw it to Simi enough. That tangent.
That's another story.
That's another story. Second best wide receiver. That doesn't mean you need to let up so many yards rushing. What? They're not even that good at running the ball. And I think they have another 200-yard game on us again?
Something close to that, but not even that. Like, they have a third-string quarterback. They had both of their starting quarterbacks had tear in ACL. I feel really bad. Like, that's awful news for me. But they have a third-string quarterback doing these plays and throwing the ball for – he didn't throw for that much, actually, but still throwing the ball for almost 200 yards.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know. That makes me even more upset.
Oh, yeah, because it happened
First off, because I didn't know that. Second off, because it's a third string. And then we can't catch a break. We've become the IU Memorial Hospital, not the IU Memorial Stadium. I think we have an entire first team in injuries for one side of the ball. I think offense, we might have an injury at every single position. Except for maybe center. I think we have our starting center. I don't even know. I am so beyond done. It's like torture. It's honestly like watching somebody rip your fingernails out, and then after the game thinking about it, or like after they've done it, thinking about it, and then it starts to hurt. That's what this is.
And for the quarterback too, the funny part is he's from Fishers, Indiana, and he went to the Cathedral High School, so he's actually an Indiana guy that just beat an Indiana team.
That makes me even more upset. Why are you bringing this stuff? You told me not to get heated. I've blown it off. I'm on fire inside my head.
All right, I'll take over then. I'm going to try to keep it down because it was a very frustrating game, especially if you watched it. But my first comment is I really do think it's time to change the motto for this season. Like, I love the motto. That was like that was a thoughtful breakout, which is what we brought Tom Allen to do. But I think that goal for this season, I think that's a little embarrassing with some of these results. Like, breakout means beating Michigan or Michigan State. Obviously not losing any of these easier games against Maryland, but like, I'm not as upset at the physical loss if like Maryland were to just completely outplay us, but I'm upset at how the Hoosiers ended up losing. They beat themselves with a lot of these plays, especially with the defense and that kind of stuff. Like,
it's not just the defense either. It's special teams.
Yeah.
I don't know what Peyton Whitehead was thinking. Literally
block field goal for a touchdown.
Block punt. It was block punt.
I'm not even as upset about that as Griffin Oaks had to take a timeout on a field goal because we didn't have enough players out of there. That's just a dumb mistake. That is like, I don't even know how that happens. I've never seen, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen that before on a field goal. We had to call a timeout because we didn't have enough players and the field goal was going to get blocked. All right, I'll start with the defense. Matt already alluded to some of this, but like, I'm extremely shocked at the Hoosiers defense this game. Like, really, really shocked. I told you last week we're the number 30th ranked defense in the nation versus their offense, which is literally at like 90 or 100. So like, it should have been like this defense should have been feasting on this offense, especially with a third string quarterback. Granted, he's been in the system for most of the year now, but still, I just don't get it. I know we have injuries, like especially Ball, but he's been out for most of the season, to be honest. We've dealt without him, but like, I just don't get it. Like, the biggest part that I noticed was how we gave up so many big plays. Like most of if you look at the box score actually, and you look at each receiver in Maryland, a good amount of them, like 4 or 5 of their receivers or running back, had a play for like over 30 yards, which is just unacceptable. Obviously, DJ Moore was going to get a big play. We kind of knew that, like maybe 1 or 2 plays, but not 2 or 3 other receivers getting that kind of play, which I was shocked that the IU defense was doing that, because we had been playing consistent even against some of the bigger teams. It was the offense that had been halting some of these wins.
You mean when you throw it to your best player, he makes plays? Mm-hmm. Wow. I am so mind blown.
Which they actually bottled up DJ Moore for the first half. It was the second half that he started to come out. But the offense, they halted on big plays when they needed it the most, especially coming down the stretch, a lot of just drops and stuff like that. They halted on the big plays, which you need someone to make that big play just to not mess up like that. And we were able to get almost 500 yards in total offense, but it didn't come out to nearly as many touchdowns as it should have. Like, we just couldn't get it done when it's a close game and when they need to get a win. And couple last things. This has been bothering me for a little bit the past couple weeks. I understand Peyton should be the starting quarterback. He has been playing like the starting quarterback, and I 100% agree with them have starting quarterback. But I don't know why they just stopped the 2 quarterback systems so quickly, and I'm surprised it took DeBoard and Tom Allen and everyone so long for Lego to come in just by Peyton getting injured. Like, I don't necessarily get it. It was working before.
What was going on with that? He looked like a completely different person after taking that shot to the knee, and they put him out there for 2 series.
Yeah, I really do love what Peyton's done, but it still helps the Hoosiers because he can't put the ball down the field. That's his only downfall, but that's Lego's strength. I'm going to keep going back to Lego threw for over 400 yards against Ohio State. I feel like people keep looking over that stat so much.
I literally had a person in Michigan State. I am outside of Noodles and Company after the game, and this Michigan State fan comes in, hey, Hoosier. I'm like, yes. He's like, why isn't the guy who threw for 400 yards starting at quarterback? And I went, 400 yards, like, oh, against Ohio State. I was like, oh, yeah, that guy, Richard Lego, yeah, Ramsey's for possession or whatever. He's like, I still don't understand. He threw for 400 yards on Ohio State. He's like, well, he throws some stupid interceptions sometimes, He's like, but still, he threw for 400 yards on Ohio State. Look how hard it was for Penn State to throw it on Ohio State. We had Lego throwing for 400 yards. And like, I understand what they're thinking, but like, come on, like the 2 quarterback system worked. We kept it close with Ohio State, who obviously looks like one of the 4 or 5 best teams in college football.
And when Lego came in for his first full series, not that one play that he just had a third down after Peyton got injured, he led the Hoosiers to score in less than 2 minutes. He led them down to score in less than 2 minutes. He threw for over 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in less than 1 quarter. He basically came in at the 10-minute mark in the 4th quarter. He threw for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns in 10 minutes.
Well, the problem with him is he's so good sometimes that he takes up like as much clock as we would if we'd had like a 5-play drive.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, is because our defense is out there for another 15 more minutes than the other defenses, and by the time it gets to the end of the game, we've let up 45 points because our defensive players are literally running out of their lungs are shrinking.
But yeah, let's move on though to look at Wisconsin, because the loss is behind us. We still have a chance to get into a bowl game, so let's move on to Wisconsin. The Hoosiers have their second to last home game against number 4 ranked Wisconsin this weekend with a noon kickoff, and it's on ABC. Matt, start us off with your quick thoughts on what you see in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, and I'll keep it short, quick, precise. Fantastic defense, great running game. So it's like a really old school style of Big Ten football. Like,
yeah,
hope it's raining and cold, maybe even snowing, muddy field, like 1950s Big Ten football. And then they have a lack of a passing game. So while they do have a bit,
they'll
throw the ball. They don't have wide receivers that jump off the page at you. They're quick little guys. I like kind of compare them to maybe like they have like 3 Julian Edelmans on the field, which they're not going to break out big plays. They're going to chip away 4, 5, 6 yards per catch, and it's enough to where they have the offensive line in the running game, and they're gonna get some nice long drives, nasty style. You know, they're a grinded out team. They're not going to put up 50 points on somebody. You know, they may win 14-0, and that'd be a fantastic game for them because their defense is that good. So I'm really excited to play them. If our defense takes a look in the mirror and goes, what were we doing last game? And fixes what they were doing last game, I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. Hopefully Ramsey's okay and good to go. But if he's not, I feel like we're still in good hands with Lego. I think we'll give them a heck of a game. I hope everybody shows out to the game. And yeah, ABC, 12 o'clock. Another ABC game. Let's go.
Yeah, national television, which is great for the Hoosiers to keep getting.
Fourth.
Yeah,
Fourth.
Which is great for recruiting because now people can actually look at us on TV, which really helps.
We know what our uniforms look like now.
Yeah. First, Wisconsin, they haven't played a ranked team yet. They're 4th in the nation, minus all of the college football playoffs that just came out. We're going off of AP rankings right now, folks. They haven't played a ranked team yet, and they are in the very obviously much weaker division of the Big Ten, but they're still handling their business on the teams that they play, and they aren't really making mistakes. Like it's not Matt and I were talking about this, but before the air, to some extent that the schedule is what the schedule is for them. They can't change not playing ranked opponents right now, so and they're just doing their business, playing the teams who they need to play. They've had a couple of games where the score was within 1 or 2 scores, but really they've every single game there's been really no doubt of them not winning. And sadly, right now, especially after the Maryland team, we are one of those teams that Wisconsin has been playing the whole season. Especially these last 3 games, we're acting just like every team that Wisconsin has been handling and taking their care of business against. So for Wisconsin's offense, Matt talked about it for a second. They're going to rush all over us, especially right now. The rain is called for in the evening, so hopefully that will push off. Because especially if it rains, I definitely think it's over. Because it'll be running game versus running game, and we are going against the 4th best running back in the entire nation. He has the 4th most rushing yards in the entire nation. And yes, that is more than Saquon Barkley. Like, obviously, I'm not comparing him. They're not the same players. Saquon Barkley can receive like nobody's business, but he has a lot more rushing yards than Saquon Barkley. This is a very good running back, and they are going to run the ball, especially even if it starts to rain. Obviously, we've seen IU rushing in the past couple of weeks. IU rushing versus Wisconsin rushing. I don't even think there's even a sliver of chance if it comes down to who's going to rush. So
no,
it's their QB then going to their passing game. He can throw. He's not bad. He's got over 1,500 passing yards. I'm
not saying that he can't throw.
They're
not a big passing play team. But I did forget their tight end is verging on elite for college football. Troy Fumagalli, great tight end, and so that should be interesting to see our linebacker on a tight end, and see if our guys could cover him, because he is their one weapon in the passing game. For some reason it went out of my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, and the only bad thing about their passing game is, though, that they don't, besides their tight end that is starting to emerge, they don't have that standout receiver, and their quarterback gets the ball to a lot of people. So it's like everyone is just as equally as a threat, which is almost bad for our injury-ridden defense, really. So like, because they can attack everyone. Like they can easily go to someone other than Rashard Fant's covering. So that'll be something to pay attention to.
I don't know what Utah did to the state of to Wisconsin, or what Wisconsin did to the state of Utah, but they played Utah State and BYU in the first 3 games, and they beat Utah State 59-10 and beat BYU 40-6. So
they've got some offense.
Conspiracy is that Wisconsin hates Utah. There you go. Yeah, that's
Wisconsin defense, like Matt said again, they gave up an average of 12.6 per game, 12.6 points per game. So they are not giving up a lot of points at all. And obviously with the struggling Hoosier offense, that's something to be mindful of. Our stalling offense, we can't make those mistakes, or the game's gonna be over, but before it even begins, really, especially with the really good defense. So we really have to have a good showing. Really hope Peyton is uninjured. I hope they have a 2-quarterback system that they throw to Simi Cobbs, because Simi doesn't drop any balls, and so far we haven't seen one defense that has a corner back good enough to really cover Simi Cobbs. Like even in double coverage, he still gets the ball, which I know you want to try and get that person that is like Simi's getting double, triple team. So you want to get like Luke Timian open on the other side of the field or something like that, where he's going like one-on-one. But still, Simi has not shown anything other than that he's going to catch the ball no matter how many people are guarding him. So I don't know why you just keep not going away from that.
I don't know. I literally sit there and scream every game, either at the TV or in person, sitting there in the band section. Throw it to Simi Cobbs. Throw it to Simi. Every time, every game, at least twice a game.
And obviously, Luke Timian really is a good receiver. He's got the second or third best, or third most. I think it's third most receptions in the Big Ten at a Big Ten receiver. So like, but still, I digress. Let's get to some IU basketball. Archie had his first showing on official showing on the court.
Yes, he did.
The Hoosiers had their first exhibition game against Marian this past Saturday, right after the football game, and won 93-62. We need to temper our expectations a little bit with this result, because obviously we played Marian, but there are still a lot of things to take away from this game. I'll start us off with my impressions. First, I want to say, especially because I was in the audience, so was Matt, and watching the football game and just having that heartbreaker in the audience, watching it on the big screen.
Yeah,
I'm very glad that IU basketball was there, because I was not feeling too good after that IU football match.
Maryland, they're not even an original Big Ten team. They're not even. It's not even an actual state. It's a sliver.
It's a sliver.
Just a sliver. All right, I digress. Anyways.
Yeah. But the game it was interesting. It had some ups and some downs for IU basketball. Started out really slow. Marian was actually playing pretty well at the beginning. Some notes. Devontae started in place of Colin. I'm not sure when they're going to put Colin back into the rotation, but there's real no need to put him in just yet, especially with these exhibition games. Might as well he probably could have played tonight, but you might as well, rather safe than sorry, especially with Colin missing him for a year. I said this, I think I said this on the last show, but like at Hoosier Hysteria, watching him sit down on the bench again, it just gave me, I hated seeing that. I knew he wasn't injured, but I still just hate seeing Colin sitting down. But, and if you didn't get to watch the game, the blowout, the 31-point victory didn't necessarily show the whole picture of it. So that's why we're going to give you some of our thoughts on this.
Yeah.
IU offense. I am a little worried about this offense.
You are?
It's the very beginning. Yeah, it's the very beginning. Especially it's a new system and everything, but there's not really a pure scorer on our team. We thought Rojo would be that guy, and he has not been showing with Hoosier Hysteria in this. I know there's obviously this is all a very beginning of the season. All of this could 100% change, but right now he's not been like stepping up like we thought he would be to be this leader of the team and make all these shots and all that kind of stuff. And also when we weren't making our shots, Marian was winning. Like literally, they were up by 5 or 6 points, and they were up for most of the first half. It was within a 10-point game, which is again beginning of the season, but it's still a little concerning with just where the points are going to come from, because every team really does need that backup just to keep getting points to just to keep the ball rolling, basically. I really don't want to go back to whoever Tom Crean is. That's a debate for another story, but I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to a Tom Crean where basically a lot of our games were decided whether or not how well we shot, and like how well we shot the 3-point shot. Our new and improved defense, they can only go so far. If we can't get to score anything, we're still not going to win, regardless of how well the defense plays. If the defense shuts them down to 20 points, if our offense can't match that, obviously we lose. The Archie also mentioned in the post-game press conference that our screens really need to improve really well. Like whenever there was a screen, it kind of went back to last year where there was just a screen set and no one used it. So that's what basketball is starting to move towards. It's the 3-point shot, and then moving off of screens. Like screens are a huge thing in the NBA. You're not successful unless you can really use the screen. And I really think out of this past couple weeks, I think the 3-point shot honestly needs to go through Josh Newkirk. He was incredible at Hoosier Hysteria. Again, not even a game, but still his shot was not. And you can tell when someone's just shooting well. You can tell when someone has like a good shot and is going to have a good consistent shot. And Josh Newkirk has been doing that the past couple of times. He only shot 5 threes and he made 3 of them. So like, I really want to see, I know he's a very selfless player. He's that very original definition of a point guard, where a point guard used to be just a guy that facilitated, gave the ball up, and then let everyone else basically do the work. But I want to see him shooting more, especially with Devontae coming in like that. I want to see him starting to become a scorer. IU defense, much better. Yes, I'm a defensive guy too. I love playing basketball. I love defense, everything about it. It's I love this new system of the pack line defense. Yes. Obviously, it needs to be cleaner. We need to get faster, but it's much improved, especially literally just the very first couple of weeks, first couple of months of Archie's tenure. You can tell a difference with the defense, and that's really cool, especially if you can tell a difference right away with a new coach. That's really cool to see. But the standout moment of Archie's, I think, tenure so far, I didn't necessarily see what specifically happened, but Josh Newkirk did something, first half, something like that did something to upset Archie. I could tell it was something that had been reiterated a few times, and he messed it up. He messed it up, and the very first thing Archie yelled, he stomped his foot. He went over to the bench and he said, "Curtis, you're coming in." He replaced him right away. No questions asked. Once Josh came over, he talked to him about it, slapped him on the butt, and told him to get on the bench. Duran had a really bad turnover. He was immediately pulled. That's what I love to see. Seriously, that's what I love to see playing basketball. And I was angry. That was how it went. You messed up, you sat. That's basketball in general has kind of gotten away from that. You mess up, you still get another chance within it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing if you get to sit for a second. You just get to calm down and go back into it. It's great to see Archie just sitting players for actually making mistakes and showing that they're going to be accountable for those mistakes, that stuff like turnovers are not going to be acceptable, and that you're going to have consequences for those bad mistakes.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Again, another time for another conversation about Tom Crean, but that's something that I love about Archie Miller. Matt, give us your thoughts on just the game overall.
I thought it was a little scary at first, but I think the further it went on, I think the more comfortable the guys got. It's a little different
Yeah.
going straight from practice tempo, running down the court, shooting, running drills, maybe running some games. You're not running games with people you're usually going to be playing with, right? Like
No.
they're going to mix the teams up, whatever. So you're getting that lineup out there, and maybe you've played with that lineup a couple times, but it's been at scrimmage tempo. It's not a real game tempo. And these guys are out here. They're from Marian. They're wanting to bring it to us. So they
Oh
did. They
yeah.
brought it to us for the first 2 minutes. We went,
Mhm.
whoa, what's going on here?
Really like the first 10 minutes, but yeah.
First 10 minutes, yeah, the first basically quarter of the game went, all right, hold up. Get a hold of ourselves. Calm down. For the next second quarter, basically the next 10 minutes, from 10 to 20 minutes till the half, dialed back in. We brought it back. It was 30. It was like 50 or 40 to 20 something was the halftime score.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
I think we were up by a little over 10 was something around there at the
Yeah.
halftime.
Yeah, and I think we were down at 10 minutes. I think it was like 18 to like 12.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we
we
brought
were.
it back. So I just saw the guys settle in more. Standout moment for me was actually on offense. That's why I questioned you when you said you were concerned about the offense and about a scorer. I think we got a score from what I've seen. And yes, it was Marian. I understand that. But Devontae Green looked fantastic. Fantastic. He looked like the best guard on the floor. And that's got me questioning, is Josh Newkirk really our starting point guard? Or is Devontae really our
Which is
starting
crazy
point guard?
because Josh has actually been playing really well too. Like
I
it's not
know.
even like he has been messing up. He's
I,
been actually like much improved since last season, and you can
mhm.
tell.
I think Devontae had 22 points
Yep.
or somewhere around there, right?
Devontae
And
led the team in all categories: assist, rebounds.
exactly. And it's just a scrimmage. It's just just an exhibition game. These things matter. Those guys are out there. They're Division two athletes, yes, but they're giving it their all, like 100%. It's the only time they get to play in Assembly Hall. Like, they're trying their hardest. Look at Morehead State and Kentucky. Morehead State and Kentucky was a 4-point game with 10 minutes left in the second half last night. Kentucky's a top 10 team. We're nowhere close to a top 10 team. And Morehead State was giving it to Kentucky in Lexington. So these games going to be close for, the start. And yes, I get that Kentucky's putting, 4 freshmen on the floor. Like, it's going to eventually happen, right? Like, whoa, this is college basketball. But I think I saw a lot of improvements on the offensive end. He didn't turn the ball over. The people that did turn the ball over, 5 of which were from Clifton, who had 1, and then Justin Smith had 4.
Yeah, that was
Both of
the
them are
one
freshmen.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
their first time ever playing at a college pace. And they're probably going to do that in our first game against Indiana State. Actually, I know they will. But that's fine because come Michigan State later in the season, they're going to be much better because they're going to have so much more experience.
As long as it's limited.
Yes. And that's it for offense. Basically, no turnovers. We were getting open threes. We were making some. We were missing some. It's rusty. It's the start. I don't know what's going on with Robert Johnson. He was dribbling it a bit too much when I thought he needed to shoot it. He was shooting it when I thought he needed to dribble it. And then he was dribbling too much when I thought he needed to give it up. So I think he's in his head about the whole dribbling and shooting element. But I think he'll fix that. I think it just takes some experience because he's never been a leading scorer, and now that's his responsibility. Defense, pack line looks awesome. So here's the deal about Marian. They didn't get a scouting report, right? This IU didn't get a scouting report. So they were going the whole game without even seeing any tape on these guys. They have no idea what they're good at. I'm sure they had some tape from last year and a couple of them. But, some of them, they have no idea who they are. They may have played a couple minutes last year, whatever. So they went in without a scouting report. And there was no easy drives to the basket in half court, which is so nice to see because that at least happened 3 or 4 times every game with a Tom Crean defense.
Which, if you don't know what the pack line defense is, guys, that's pack line defense is basically set up to prevent any inside drives, basically.
Yeah.
So it's forcing the team to take 3-point shots. So if you look at Marian's 3-point shot and how they shot it a lot and how they shot it pretty well, actually, give credit to them, that was actually the plan all along. So it's obviously we need to get quicker. That's what I talked about, our defense getting quicker, but getting to those 3-point shots, that is evidence that this pack line defense is already starting to work.
Yeah, pack line defense is kind of like ceramic wrap. You ever put your fist into ceramic wrap? You can bend it, and if you push hard enough, it'll break. But, if you push just hard enough, it kind of collapses around your hand. That's what the pack line defense is. You drive in, defense collapses on you, make sure that you can't get to the basket. So it's going to leave some people open, but I'd rather leave some people open for jump shots than let people get easy drives to the basket or take guys off the dribble and maybe get some contact and get an and one because they were stumbling behind them and nobody came to help. This is all about pack line's all about help and condensing and pressuring the ball once it gets into the center towards the rim. So I think we have the quick guys for it. Obviously, Josh Newkirk, nickname is Boost. That's for his athletic ability, but he's also super fast. And I think Devontae Green's also super fast, and he takes pride in his defense. At least hopefully he does, like his brother. He looks at it like anything like his brother. So I think we're in good hands. Another thing, what's Hartman's role? What is he going to do? Is he going to be a player for off the bench? Is he going to be a starter? What's going on with that? Is he going to play at all for the first half of the season? When's he going to play? I don't know. I'm expecting him probably to get some minutes next week if there's absolutely nothing wrong with him, like they say there is. Maybe get,
that or minutes. I'm predicting minutes possibly in the first couple of games that we have. Like I can see them. Yeah, I could see that. And then running them out in full to go and actually play our first super real test at Seton Hall, which first of all, I don't know who scheduled that. I guess it looked like it would have been a great schedule, a couple of years ago. But Seton Hall is quite the test for us early on in the year, especially with the recruits they got and the people that are coming back to Seton Hall. They're going to be a great team. So that should be fun to watch. And then I also have, is Justin Smith the new improved Zach McRoberts? Minus the turnovers.
What? Yeah, the turnovers, but that's his first game. Well, I'm saying is he's just a taller, more athletic version of Zach McRoberts from last year because I didn't see Justin have any intent of shooting the ball last night. And he was in positions to shoot, and he just dribble it and hand it off, which maybe it's just first game jitters or whatever. But, Justin, I have seen your highlight tape. I know you can shoot. Shoot the ball. Please don't turn into Zach from last year. Zach had a great bucket late on in the game off a nice cut. Preeler gave him a nice feed. Hopefully we see Zach implement some more, and maybe he becomes like a Hartman if he learns how to shoot. Hopefully. We'll see. Tall, skinny, white guy who can defend and shoot. That'd be nice. And then I also have written down, Archie does all things right. He is Lord and Savior. All hail the Miller one. So far, so good of the Archie Miller era at IU. I'm really happy with what he's done. Obviously, you're really happy with what he's done. I think you talk to most IU basketball fans, and they're really happy with what he's done. And yeah, just praying on 2 more commitments, if you know what I mean.
Last thought. Guess how many turnovers the upperclassmen, the juniors, and the seniors had in this last game?
They can't have 0.
They had 0.
Oh.
Juniors and seniors had 0 turnovers. I'm going to leave you with that, folks. That about wraps it up for our 8th show of the Hoosier Sound. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and please feel free to add suggestions in the comment section or contact us through our website. Check it out. A reminder to follow us on Twitter at the Hoosier Sound, like our Facebook page, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe on either Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher, and leave us a review. All the links are in the description below. Visit our website, thehoosiersound.wordpress.com, to find all the information regarding our podcast, and stay tuned for updates through social media, like updates for next week. As always, send us your questions as the audience, and we'll get you on our next episode. Seriously. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, leave us a review, because the more reviews we get, the more our podcast grows. The more,
Please do.
yeah, the more reviews we get, the more iTunes puts it out on there, and we can start expanding our audience. Basically, tell a friend, tweet us, send a message, whatever. It really helps us grow the show, which is what we want to do. That's our goal, is to keep growing the show. But thank you for listening, Hoosier Nation, and we'll see you next time.